Hello, ladies, and welcome to Wake Up Wednesday and our special Sister Spotlight series. I am so excited to introduce you to Sarah today. Hi, Sarah. Thank you for being here.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Yes, so ladies, if you haven't heard about this special series that we're doing this year, what I'm doing is introducing you to a woman who I've worked with closely over the past couple of years who've gone on to do great work in the world. And I want to share their work with you. And also, because they are so close to me and this community, these women have a special gift that they're sharing just with the JEY Wake Up Wednesday newsletter list. So I'm really excited to introduce you to Sarah and also to share with you what she's offering today. So Sarah, I'm going to read Sarah's bio to you, but in between we're going to jam a little bit so you can really get to know the essence of her and also our connection and why you might be divinely orchestrated in this moment to be connecting with her yourself. So, Sarah Tallman is a native of Colorado, a professional dancer, a nationally sought-after choreographer, a self-proclaimed light worker, a mentor, and a coach. So, let's just pause there. Sarah and I share this interest and a background with theatrics and performing, and then feeling that passion and drive toward coaching. Sarah, I guess what I'm curious to hear about from this is just how have these things merged together at this point in your life, and how are you seeing the connection between them? Because I do find a lot of the women that follow me do have some kind of performance background or interest just in taking the stage and being able to shine and captivate in a bigger way. And you're taking that work as a professional dancer. Also, I want to mention that Sarah is a part of Denver's favorite dance company, Wonderbound, if you've ever heard of it, where she puts on amazing performances and she's an artist there, leads workshops and teaches. So Sarah, how have these things merged together for you? You know, your performance, you're a professional ballerina, coming into mentoring, coaching, and your woo side and light worker side.
Yeah, wow. Thank you, Jeannine. So beautiful. Well, as you know, I first met you through Mentor Masterclass. And when I first began that, my desire was to really turn in. It was a time for me to get inward, work on my inner game, so that I could continue my outer game, which is as a dancer and a choreographer and a teacher, in a way that felt authentic, in a way that felt like I could really lead people. So I wanted to hone in on my leadership skills. Also, I knew that I was using NLP techniques, but I didn't know necessarily that they were NLP techniques, right? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to really hone in on my skills in that way. As I began, I was just taken with the content and with sisterhood and everything that we worked on in Mentor Masterclass, and wanted to pull that forward into my dancing career. I thought, wow, if I can feel like this when I'm in circle with women, if I can feel like this, take these tools to my students, which at the time I was teaching younger students, and I still do some of that. I thought this is going to really up-level the way I show up as a dancer on stage. So I'm really going to be able to be broken open. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that is where my vulnerabilities lie, and that's where I connect with other people. Mm-hmm. So you'll notice in the first part of my bio, it's and. Mm-hmm. And so I learned very quickly that and was actually one of my favorite coaching techniques and working with people, so that I didn't have to choose either or. I could do both and. Mm-hmm. And so my business really started with following your and. Mm-hmm. Follow your and. Follow that. Follow the muse. Follow the and. What is it that you want to do? And what else? And what else? And what else? Mm. And from there, kind of honing in and deciding, defining, and cultivating me as a person, and knowing that I can show up just as Sarah, mm-hmm. Or fully and completely. Mm-hmm. Yes. And so that I didn't have to become different people in order to fulfill those roles. And that is really what's allowed me to kind of take life in a way. Take life and hug it, mm-hmm. and love it and do all of the things that I want to do in the world. That was also a Mentor Masterclass.
It's so important
Yeah.
for creative artists, I think, what you're speaking about, because I notice it with women who are multi-passionate and who are creative. There's a way that you're open to the universe and so susceptible to ideas and how you want to put things out in the world, that many women don't want to choose only one thing, or feel held back or misunderstood or frustrated or stuck because they have so many ideas that they're not sure where to begin. And so it sounds like you've really found a way not to have self-judgment or frustration with who you are as a woman, artist, mentor, and coach, but actually to honor your passion, your creativity, and merge that still into directed action and focus where you're putting yourself and your work out there while maintaining and honoring all the pieces of who you are, which is a very challenging thing for most creative people to do, I find.
Yeah, so that was definitely something I wanted to look at and unpack, because I wondered if I was wanting to do so many different things and I have all this creative energy, and I had to wonder, am I hiding from something? Was I hiding? Was I putting so much on my plate that I actually couldn't get anything done? So I had to kind of unpack that and decide if that was what was really going on. Working on my inner game and my outer game. What I found was there aren't two games. There's one game. So my desire is that my inner game is my outer game. So I don't have to work in duality. I can work in oneness. And it takes a long time, right? It takes a lot to unpack, and I'm always learning. But when I can work in oneness, I found that those creative energies that I wanted to harness and hone in on were absolutely true, and that I could actually do all of them by showing up in oneness rather than duality. And it does take time, and it takes action. So that's the part of it that I was really good at doing. I'm a really great doer. So working through whatever blocks I had with hiding, if that was the case, I had to really focus in on my bee energy. And so now that's a beautiful dance that I can, that was no pun intended, but that was a pun. But I can really dance through life and glide through life, working in that oneness.
At this point, I also think it's worth mentioning that is a chalk drawing of that you're at the dance studio right now, right? Filming personal teaching and choreographing and dancing, and I love that is you.
Yeah, it's so great. So yeah, I'm in the accountant's office. I thought it was a great place to be. And I happened to look up and was like, oh, that's a chalk drawing of me.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's gret.
So you're not that vain and just don't keep chalk drawings of yourself like in your own bedroom or anything.
I don't. I often think about it, but I feel like we can save that for the dance studio.
You love it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you ladies a little more about Sarah. So, as I mentioned, she's part of Denver's favorite dance company, Wonderbound, or you also might find her leading the artists of tomorrow through classes and workshops in classical ballet technique, as well as leading men and women in reconnecting to their physical and emotional bodies. She is the creator of Soul Dance, a workshop-based experience infusing body, mind, and soul through movement modalities based on her vast knowledge of dance technique and transformation and the powerful dance technique and sensibilities. There I am. Sarah leads and harnesses her desires through the potent experience of transformation and the powerful expression of transition while bringing to life personal essence. So Sarah, speak to that part a little bit, because I know this is really fresh, new, and potent in your work, and I want to make sure women understand what it means that your work is around transformation and transition and why.
Yes, perfect. Yes. So this is something that's coming forward for me right now in the last 4 weeks. I think I certainly felt an energy change in general, and so this is a perfect time for this work to be coming forward for me. One of the other things that I've tried to find are the connections. We kind of talked about that a little bit, but the connections between what I do as a dancer, a choreographer, a mentor, and a coach. And what I realized is in my dance career and as a choreographer, the thing that I work on the most is transition. So in my toolbox as a dancer, I spend 40 hours a week working on transitions. So it's never these big things that happen. I mean, the big things can happen, of course. So a big grand jeté or a leap will happen, right? But it's all the things that lead up to that and after that that make it as dynamic and full of ease that it could. So yeah, I'm working on grace, love, and ease constantly in transition. I realized I was doing that as a choreographer as well, that in order for me to be the kind of storyteller I want to be, I need to work on the transitions. I think about that in writing. I notice that in other women's writing and men's writing, I notice the transition. Those are the things that kind of draw me in. Yeah, so I was thinking about these transitions and witnessing my parents as they transition. And it really just slapped me upside of my head. Like, okay, Sarah, this is the work that you do with women. You coach them through transition and transformation. So if that area of our life, which is the majority of our life, is spent in transition, right? If you take 365 days, an entire year, we can break that down into 12 months. And you might have one potent, palpable thing that happens each month, right? Or you might have one every other month, right? So you might have a list of 6 to 12 things that happen for you that were really powerful. But there's a lot of days in between. And there's a lot of things that happen before and after, whatever that big thing is. So when I talk about the big thing, it might be a move. It might be relaunching a business. It might be creating a retreat. It might be getting married. It might be having a baby. There's any number of things that happen. So the transitions are the things that we kind of meander and wander through. And if we can get crystal clear and feel the way we want to feel in transition, I believe that, number one, it makes us move into these life changes in a way that feels powerful, in a way that feels comfortable. And really, and I'm looking very far ahead, but when we leave the physical world, we're literally transitioning.
Yeah.
So
making peace with that, I think, is also a huge part. Making peace with all those big moments, because also all the transitions are not joyful, right? It's not always having a baby or getting married. There's transitions like divorce. There's transitions like health concerns and issues in your life or challenges. There's moves you didn't want to make, and then we talk about and wait for those either big happy moments or dread and fret those big moments that inevitably are happening, or we're dealing with them from the past. And it's like all that space in between is life and experience. There's so much of it that I would love the space to have someone to talk through and to work through and to make that feel just as lively and ease-filled and potent as those big things are when they drain our energy or take our attention, whether it's for the positive or for the challenge.
Absolutely. Thank you for mentioning that, because the sticky transition can be sticky, right? Like you just said, like it can be divorce, or it can be losing somebody. It can be any number of things, right, that feel sticky. And sometimes the transition is just sitting in the grief and allowing ourselves that and having that be okay, or sitting in the stickiness of it, sitting in boredom. That can be transition as well, right? Like I can feel bored. So I'm a geek for this. I'm realizing that like I love talking about it because it's so true. And holding that transition or letting it go, but knowing that that is kind of the area that we're navigating, and my desire to help women through that transition. I noticed that when I listen to people talk about transitions, they either talk about it in a really excited way, like I'm transitioning, or there is a downward trajectory to their voice and transitioning as though it's a bad thing. It's just a thing. It's not good and it's not bad. Let's just talk about it and how can we move through it. I think that's another important thing to talk about. Sometimes we try to skirt around it. We want to avoid it rather than it might be your path to move straight through it. It might be your path to wind through it. But yeah, I love talking about it and I love talking to women about that.
Me too. It's really potent for me having become a mother and also just having some new business ideas and transitions I want to make in my business. And I'm recognizing how much there is to talk about and how many beliefs there are and how many patterns come up along the process, because you can't transition and keep things the same way. And we so like to have control and try to keep things the same way. And we have to evolve each time we transition. And I find that really challenging and beautiful, but the transitions I've enjoyed the most have been when I've had someone to support me through them, especially when I've hired a coach, like during my pregnancy or now because I'm bringing some new things into my business. That reflection is more vital than ever. Not about the big thing, more about me and what's happening in the in-between. And how to make it more detailed. Beautiful, Sarah. Okay, so let me say a little bit more about what you've shared in your bio, because I just think it really potently brings everything together in beautiful words and transitions into each other so beautifully. So her mission and work in the world aligns with a desire to live authentically, to speak truth, and to create life through the lens of play and love, which I appreciate about you, Sarah. Also, you are such a fairy and unicorn and bring so much play and lighthearted love to your work, which I think is something that's unique about you. She's a consummate artist. Sarah connects regularly with her muse to inspire growth in herself and others. She uses her awesome life feelings of open, electric, spiritual, joyful, and free as a catalyst for her work in the world. Sarah's favorite part about life is watching the flowers bloom, walking in the rain, basking in the sun, watching the falling snow, moving her body, sweating, witnessing women on their life journey, live music, sisterhood, and cannonballing into creation. Sarah leads with enthusiasm, mystery, love, and presence. She loves twinkling lights, glitter, and the color orange. Of all of her endeavors, Sarah is most proud of her kick-ass team consisting of her husband and their 2 cats, plus Jack the St. Bernard and Guinevere the Chihuahua. So as Sarah mentioned, we have worked with each other through Mentor Masterclass, where she first began a few years ago learning the NLP coaching techniques, bringing that mastery to her. She also went on to work with me in the Sisterhood Mastermind, where we played with goddess archetypes and deeper worked into her business. And it's now that I'm really starting to see all of these pieces coming together, and it was such a beautiful time to bring her to you ladies, and she has such a generous and awesome offer. So Sarah is gifting, just for our community, a 90-minute one-on-one coaching session called Follow the Muse. So Sarah, tell us a little bit about who this is for and why they might want to take you up on this generous, beautiful gift.
Absolutely. So yes, Follow the Muse is an offering, a one-on-one offering for women who may be feeling like they are in transition or desiring transformation, or a time that they're like, I'm feeling great. Let's dig a little deeper. I think that's a powerful time for coaching as well. So it's a one-on-one session with me. We'll start by moving our bodies, a little bit of light movement, grounding, getting connected to the physical body, which I find to be super palpable, potent. It's the kind of energy we want to cultivate when we're talking about creation and when we're talking about transition and transformation. So you and I together will jam. I will ask you powerful questions. I will allow you to ask yourself powerful questions and move, literally move. So we will be moving around a little bit. To kind of unblock, find new things about yourself, cultivate your own muse, because we have the muse in all of us. She resides in every single one of us. It's just a matter of tapping into her. So this would also be an offering for the woman that feels like she might be creatively stuck or might have a story around not being creative. I've heard that as well. And the truth is we all have that inside of us. Mm-hmm. And so together we'll work through whatever transformation and transition might be coming up for you. Mm-hmm. From there, after our hour and a half spent together, I will then offer you the opportunity to work with me and coach in a package that is tailored specifically to you in whatever way feels most potent and alive and the needs of you specifically. Mm. Basically, we're going to carry the muse with us and declare what we want to create and dive in.
This is a beautiful offering, Sarah. I also think what's unique and what I love about your work as a choreographer and dancer and creative is I think moving our body. One of my friends, Erin Stetlin, I don't know if she coined this phrase or not, but movement in your body creates movement in your life. And I can tell you that whenever I'm feeling stuck, often I forget to move. So it feels like such a beautiful gift that part of your session and what you're going to do with these women is support body movement and bring that in. It's also nice to think about when I think of my coaching sessions, sometimes I think of like a backache or sitting there too long, like on the phone for 90 minutes. It's really enlivening to feel that there'll be some energy and movement as you're creating and talking and working with things. It's a beautiful tool, and I think you bring a unique genius around that that's fun and playful and creative, which makes me a little bit envious. Maybe I'll sign up for one of these sessions.
Yes, absolutely. It is fun. I just really speak quickly to the body because I think that when we're talking about creation, we're talking about a highly a feminine energy, right? This divine feminine energy that is our bodies. Mm-hmm. The dancing has a bit of a structure to it. Our bodies have structure. Our skeletons have structure. That's a natural masculine part of who we are. Mm-hmm. So I find that moving around and dancing creates a blend of the two that happens naturally.
Love it. Mm-hmm.
So
I never thought about it in that way. The masculine structures of the body and the form and securing the perimeter with the feminine and the energy and the movement that moves through. Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Okay, ladies, so here is what you really should do next if this is resonating with you. There is a link below this video to sign up for one of these sessions with Sarah. You can follow that link and get right on her calendar for that 90-minute session. If you go to the calendar and it is booked up or you don't see any available spots, there still is opportunity and potential to connect with Sarah and receive the session. What you're going to want to do is email her directly. It is email
Sarah.Tallman@gmail.com.
And we'll put that right below as well. So if you're watching this and you know that you're jumping out of your seat excited for this experience with Sarah, book that calendar right away. If you don't see anything there or you want to just directly reach out to Sarah and connect with her, then use her email and email her directly for connection. Sarah, thank you for this beautiful offering and for letting me bring your energy and genius to these women. I'm so excited to connect you, and I can't wait to hear how these sessions go.
Yes, thank you so much. I'll add really quickly, if this kind of session scares the crap out of you, it's a really good time to sign up also. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, thank you, Jeannine.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, ladies, for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Do you want to become a confident and masterful life coach? Imagine feeling completely supported by a brilliant sisterhood while you launch your dream business and attain financial freedom. Mentor Masterclass is an all-in life coach training program for 40 women who are on a mission to learn from the best. You can join Mentor Masterclass at the beginning of any new month while spaces are available. Head on over to mentormasterclass.com to learn more about the training and apply now.